Continuing making ARP Quadra leads in the Three Sides Live era using the Korg ARP Odyssey app. I have a feeling this video will be viewed more than others because who doesn't want to make the follow you, follow me lead? First off, this is not going to sound like the album. The album, he used the 2600, the ARP 2600. Sounds to me like one of the oscillators is on a pulse width sound. Feel free to experiment with oscillators if you're using the Korg Odyssey. Also, the 2600 did not have the dual portamento, so you will only need one instance of the Korg if you really want to do the studio version or the version as done on the 78 tour. So you could follow my video and then completely disregard it and listen to the album version and just do it with the one portamento switch. But a lot of the other properties will apply. So my performance video for Follow You, Follow Me has a lot of views. It's probably the least liked video. I'm not going to speculate why. I mean, I think people just don't really understand that I'm going for the Three Sides Live version, which is performed a little differently. I mean, there's overdubs. Hey, if you want to try the studio version, have fun playing the organ and the harmony line. You're crazy. that it's physically impossible to do that. So but whatever. We all want to do different things. So let's take a look at the sound. I have it queued up at the right before the solo. That's going to clue us into what's going on with a lot of the sound design. Okay. To my ears, that sounds like dual portamento. There's a big glide between the chorus notes and then a big glide up to the first note of the solo. I'm just going to kind of play through that section on what I have. I'm using, from a previous video, the dual oscillators from Dodo Lurker. So I haven't changed those settings. Okay, maybe there's a little too much portamento, but I think if you've paid attention to what I did with Lurker, I would totally do this. Okay, because I have only oscillator 1 on this version and only oscillator 2 on this version, and I have them both in duo mode, and I play 2 notes. Each app is smart enough, just like a real Odyssey, MIDI together, which is what I do live, to go, oh, he's playing 2 MIDI notes, and our first oscillator plays the lowest note. And then this Odyssey is like, oh, he's playing 2 MIDI notes, but we are only playing the upper one. So it's smart enough to do that. Okay, you hear all the wacky stuff going on, the portamento. It's the nature of the beast. I answered someone's question recently on another video, like, why duophonic? Well, that's why. You play one note, hear the phase of the tuning going in and out, and then I play 2 notes, and now... So when I'm gliding from one note to the next, this oscillator, I don't really have a mix going. It's full. So here's the one without the portamento. Think about when you're singing with someone else and you've got amazing perfect pitch and you hit that note, and then the person sitting next to you goes, ah, and they glide. You know, that's why is it so fat? This is why it's so fat, because you've got one person in tune and another person doing this. Here's oscillator 1. So that entire span of travel from the glide between the two pitches because of the portamento is... That's why it's so darn fat. I'm sure... I know, I according to YouTube statistics, I have a lot of Italian subscribers. So if you don't understand my English, I'm really sorry about my New Jersey pronunciation of Italian words like portamento. Portamento, right? I'm sure that's what it sounds like to all of you. So, sorry, but anyway, I'm there. I mean, I'm talking too much, but I've got duo mode. I think the filter sounds fine. I think my tuning. Let's address the tuning. So I'm going to go back a little bit.
Follow me all of the days and nights that we know will be. I will stay with you, stay with you. Just see the
Maybe there's too much clicky attack. Maybe. I find this app version does not get the extreme ranges very well. It's like all of a sudden it's gonna go wah wah. I haven't played this since my video. I've got to play it in a rehearsal in a couple weeks. Yikes. All right, let's take... Whoa, that was too much. Let's try... Jeez. I wonder if I could double click in this and type in the range. Let's go up to 15. Again, when I'm running the headphone output of the second Odyssey into the external audio input into the first Odyssey, these envelopes and filter settings tend to override, affect it. So as long as they're close, that's a nice thing. I just tweak it on my main one that's in front of me. Okay. I explained in my Lurker video my displeasure in the tuning of the Korg version of the app. I think the scaling of the tuning is, I don't know, doesn't seem right. So if I want a kind of a fat but nice slow phased chorus sound, which is the range of the verse. That's a perfect. I think he's got some vibrato on that. So if you remember what I said about the delayed onset vibrato in my Cinema Show in the Cage video, you could route the modulation wheel to aftertouch because this doesn't have a delayed onset LFO vibrato. So let me go to the chorus. Still think the attack isn't right. I'm just going to go out on a ledge here. What? All right, I didn't mean to nudge that one. That might actually work. Let's let the solo kick.
I will stay with you, stay with you. Just want to see you, I'll never be.
I think the filter's great. I think the envelope is great. I think the portamento is great. So you might sit there and go, yeah, close, but no cigar. Well, that's the tuning thing. Okay, so if you listen to I think this is definitely from the 1980 tour. It's the one track on the first three sides that was from the previous tour. I think he has more delay on that, which we'll get into a second. The organ sound is not Prophet, it's Hammond. And this is very similar to, and I'm not going to do videos for these. I'm not going to do videos for Lady Lies or Say It's All Right, Joe, but it's a similar sound. You just have to tweak what I did in the attack and the decay to get kind of like a classic brass sound. But it's kind of the same sound. Adjust the portamento, adjust the envelope. If you think about how he was going quickly from song to song, it was just little tweaks like that. But if you listen to another thing from the 80 tour, I think there's like a Sheffield radio show and the Lyceum, of course. There's a board tape where Phil's voice is absolutely ragged on the North American tour. I want to say it's Montreal. It's hard to listen to, but you get the keyboards very dry. So I use that for reference a lot. So the tuning isn't quite right. So again, like I did with Lurker and some of my other videos, I've got to find the best range where I'm going to be hanging out holding notes the longest. I wanted to make the tuning good. Okay. So many sections start on that D. I kind of want that a little more detuned. No. Too much beating there. So maybe I get that G. I don't know if Tony's doing this or not. I mean, you can hear it. It's just, it is what it is, the duophonic portamento thing. By the way, my Mark I ARP Pro DGX, the first revision after the Pro Soloist, adds an on-off portamento foot switch. All of my Odysseys have an on-off portamento foot switch, the reissues of the 2600s. I don't know if Tony used it here, but he certainly used it, probably used it for Lady Lies. Nah, maybe not. Maybe he didn't use it for Lady Lies. He had his hand right on that switch in the Lyceum video. So you may be like, oh, I'll just assign a pedal. You can do this in main stage, right? You assign this to a pedal, and then in the attributes you select the range so it doesn't go all the way up and all the way down. There's a lot of ways around it, but I find with this song you just play around it, and that means give low note priority, let go of the top note, and then pick up to the next one. Let go of the top note. If I let go of the bottom note first, so you kind of learn to roll your hand. that note is better ringing than the top one going up to it. So this app perfectly mirrors all the Korg and Behringer Odyssey reissues I've owned and played. I think my decay and sustain is correct. It could be, maybe it's longer. Let's go to the end.
No melody.
There is a guitar doubling that, so you might think my sound isn't right, but and this was in the era of guitar synths, maybe not necessarily the Avatar or Roland oscillators, but the guitar synths also had a hexaphonic fuzz. Look that up. I know all about hexaphonic fuzz. So there's a doubling going on by the guitar that kind of overwhelms the keyboard in the mix. Yeah, it's hard to tell with the guitar sustain, but I think my decay is right. But again, you're making this along with me. You can change this. You can bring these all the way up and just have a straight sustained sound. Have at it. Whoops. And then if you're playing the 1980 tour, if you're doing 78 or 82, I don't know what they did on Mama. They go back, da, 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 da. Big power ballad ending. So I think I have it. There's only one thing I haven't addressed, which is the verses.
Me, my love, I hope you'll always be right here by my side if ever I need you.
So you sit there and go, wow, that's a long attack envelope. And for the longest time, I was like, oh, there's two patches. Like maybe I was listening to 78 tours, like, oh, I know what he's doing. He's got a sound on the polymoog, and then he's got another, like for the solo, he's playing the 2600, but everything else in the song is using the polymoog. And I was wrong. It's all on this. He's using a volume pedal. He's using the volume pedal to bypass the attack of the portamento. I don't have that set up here. You'll know how you want to do it. MIDI learn, whatever keyboard you're using, or maybe you have you're being slick in main stage and you've set up an expression pedal and another, control, and I do that. I use like an expression pedal plugged into one thing to control something else. Gets very confusing. So just do the volume pedal swells. I don't have that set up here, but just trust me, that's what it is. And I think that's it for the lead sound. I think we have it. I'm going to save it. And then when I do this, I'll still do the oscillator 1 and 2. Everything I do with Follow You, Follow Me, I just go FY, FM. Save. And I'm done making the sound. So I'm going to talk a little bit more. What a great song. And what a great album. I did not listen, when I was getting into Genesis in the mid-'80s as an adolescent, I'm from the Philadelphia area, and I had a great classic rock station. So you wouldn't just hear Follow You, Follow Me. MTV, you'd have all those Abacab videos. And by the time when I was 15, I saw the Invisible Touch tour, my first stadium concert. And then in the following years, you had, in Philadelphia, when I was all through high school, I saw Pink Floyd in 1988 and The Who, my favorite band in 1989, the Stones on the Steel Wheels tour, McCartney. I mean, and you go back and listen to those tours, and all of those guys were singing really well. What a time to be alive. But yeah, this is the last track on kind of a weird album, maybe for some people at the time, but just listen to. And then there were three. I mean, just let Down and Out smack you in the face. I think live they kind of chose some weird songs. I think they did Lady Lies and Say It's All Right, Joe, because it gave Phil a chance to ham it up and wear costumes and do all the acting. And I'm sure it went over like gangbusters live. But I bet if they had maybe done things like Down and Out mixed in with Follow You, Follow Me live, people would have had a chance to appreciate it. But it's a good album. A heck of an, I mean, Trigger the Tail, Wind and Wuthering. And then there were three. If you like ARP synthesizers and you think Tony was a preset guy, just listen to his programming on the 2600 alone on those albums. I mean, it's not something he ever did live, really. And it's really cool. So if you like rock and roll and you like synthesizers, get off your high horse and listen to, and then there were three. It's fantastic. See you in the next one.